In this video, I'll be redoing my other platformer video because it kind of had a problem, but I was too lazy to fix it. And the problem was that if you're under a ceiling and you jump and you hold the jump button and you hit the ceiling, you just like hang around on the ceiling, which is weird. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the scratch sprite, and I'm going to create a new sprite. So I'm just going to use the simple cube, I guess, or I can call it box. Just like that. I'm going to rename the costume Norm, short for normal. Now I'm going to rename the sprite. I'm just going to call it player. That's good. And now we can start working on the horizontal movement, which is left and right. So I'm going to make a new variable. I'm going to call it X. Click OK. And when green flag clicked, I'm going to set X to 0 and drag it forever and 2 ifs. And we're going to put the key pressed in both. So when key A is pressed and when key D is pressed, here you go. So this is basically equivalent to the left arrow, and this is the same as the right arrow. So we're going to change X by -1 and do the same here, but +1 or just 1. So now if we test this, it's increasing and decreasing a lot. So now we can make it so that it changes X by X, the variable X. So we change its X position by the variable X. So if we test that, you can see it's slidey, like on ice or like no friction. So to fix that, we'll drag set X and drag a multiplication. And then we're going to drag X and we're going to multiply it by 0.8. So if we test this, yes, nice, it has acceleration and deceleration. And it also has a maximum speed. So it doesn't like speed up too much. You can also increase this if you think it's a bit too slow. So I'll just increase it by 1. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'll just stick with this. So now, let's work on the vertical movement, or just jumping. So I think we should get a ground. So I'm going to paint ground. Yeah, just like this. And let's just make it black. So I'm going to reposition this. So X will be 0. And Y, I think -158. Yeah, I think this looks good. So I'm going to rename this ground. And we can start working on the vertical movement. So create a variable called gravity. Okay. And drag another one green flag clicked. So forever, we're going to change gravity by -1. And we're gonna change its Y position by the gravity variable. So if we test this, you can see that it looks like it's falling. And we also have to reset the gravity to 0 every time we press the green flag, so it doesn't keep its velocity. So yeah, like that. Nice. And we can also just place it somewhere when we start the game. So I'll just do 0, 0, center it. And as you can see, it's kind of just phasing through the ground, which doesn't really happen in platformer games. So we can fix this by getting an if, and we're going to check if we're touching the ground, then get a change y by, put in here, then get a multiplication, and multiply gravity by -1. Then to finish this off, we're going to set gravity to 0. So once we hit the ground, we're going to set the gravity to 0. So if we remove this, we hit the ground, but then we just start floating up like this. So that's the reason we put the set gravity to 0. So the gravity doesn't keep decreasing. Alright, now we can start working on the jumping mechanic. So I'm going to drag an if inside this if, where it's touching the ground. And if it's touching the ground, then we're going to check another thing. If we're pressing the jump button, so I'm just gonna go with W, which is also the up arrow. Then we can set the gravity to any number, any positive number, because we're gonna have to jump. So I'll just go with 15. Let's see. So if we press space, not space, if we press W, which is our jumping button, and we're touching, so if we're touching the ground, so right now we're touching the ground, and then now we can check if we're pressing the key, the W key, and if we are, we're gonna jump. You can also adjust this to what you like, so maybe 5 if you want, like a short kind of jump. I don't think this is, like, I don't think this works much, or 10 maybe, but you get what I mean. I'm just gonna go with 15. Now we're done with the movement, we can start working on the level. So I think I'm just gonna make like a wall here, a platform, and another wall. Yeah, I think this looks fine. It's not centered. I'll just like that. Nice. And let's try this. Okay, first problem. We're stuck in the platform. So it's fine. We can just increase our Y position when we start. So I think 100. Yep, that's good. So we're on the platform. You can go to multiple platforms. And that's one problem. We can just like phase through walls. We can just phase through walls on the x-axis. I mean, unless this is the mechanic of your game, which is phasing through walls, we don't want this. We can fix this by getting an if, and then basically it's the same concept as the touching the floor on the Y. So I'm going to get the touching ground, and I'm going to get the change X by instead of Y by. And basically the same thing, except for gravity, we're going to do X, and reset the X-axis to 0. So we put this under here. So if we try this out, so as you can see, we're kind of just like oozing through, which we also don't want. Unless you're a, I don't know, slime. We have to switch these, we have to switch the order of these two blocks. So instead of change Y by X and then set X to X multiply 0.8, we'll just do the opposite. Like this. Perfect. And we can put this back. And if we try this, we should not be able to go through walls at all. Yep. And the main issue, basically the reason I created this video, is this issue where you can just like stick on walls. And I was just too lazy to figure it out. So it's actually not that hard to fix it. So all you have to do, so we can go to costumes, duplicate the normal costume. I'm gonna call this hitbox, or feet hitbox, and select the box or your player. If you have make a proper character, unlike mine, you can just like create a box for it. For example, this person.
Yes, this person. So if you have like a actual person, for example this, you can just like drag a box over the character. Yeah, just like this. And all you have to do after you have dragged the box, just have to copy it and paste it into your hitbox. And once you have pasted it, you have to select the hitbox and drag it from the top. So it decreases for the feet. And also drag it a few pixels down. Yeah, just like that. So after we have the feet hitbox, we can fix the issue. So right now we are in our feet hitbox. Let's just switch back to our normal costume. So I'll just put this in another when green flag clicked. So get a forever and take this out and we'll put it in here. Drag and put the W in the first box or pentagon. Stretch out pentagon, whatever you call. And get a touching in the other pentagon thing and put the ground. So if we try this, you can't jump. So we can use this trick to get to switch costumes and put the feet hitbox at the top and put the normal hitbox, normal costume at the bottom. So this basically means we're gonna switch the feet hitbox costume, and then we're gonna use this feet hitbox costume to check if we're touching the ground and we're pressing the W key. And if we are, we're gonna set the gravity to 15, which means we're just gonna jump, and then we're gonna switch costume back to normal, so it looks like our normal player. So if I jump under the ceiling, we just bump into it, just like we wanted to. Now you have your own new and improved platforming movement. I just want to say we are so close to getting 100 subscribers, which is the first milestone I'm going to get here on YouTube, and it's going to help me and support me a bunch. So you can subscribe or not. But anyways, this is the end of the video, and thanks for watching.